Atma Sannyasa Yoga, the preliminaries and the gain. When the inner pressure demanding the outer objects is reduced, the mind becomes pliable, and that is the best time to bring it under full control. The sixth chapter thus follows up the sadhana of the fifth. Krishna continues, a yogi is one who performs action without depending upon a fruit. He just does his duty. Sannyasa itself is yoga because in both the willing and wishing nature of the intellect has to be given up. As long as the mind has not come under control, action is the means of achieving it. When a man acts neither attached to the action nor to the objects, then he is yogaruda, one who has gained control over the mind. In this yoga of self-control, he has to lift himself up. No one can help him. He is his own friend and enemy too. When his lower personality is well under the control of the higher personality, then he is his own friend. Else he is an enemy. To one thus controlled, the Lord is available under all circumstances, favorable and unfavorable. With his mind fully under control and established in the Supreme, he excels by having the same vision towards a clod of earth, precious stone or gold. So too, he is the same towards friends and foes, well-wishers and enemies, mediators and relatives, hateful persons, sinners and saints. In order to gain this state, constant practice is required. A sadhaka should select a quiet, lonely place and arrange a seat which is neither too low nor too high, in a clean spot. Then he should sit upon it and try to control his mind and sense activities. Holding the sitting posture firm and unmoving, the gaze should be directed towards the tip of the nose and not allowed to go astray. He should be peaceful, fearless, dedicated to brahmacharya and intent upon reaching me. Thus, when he practices for long, he attains the peace abiding in me, which will lead him to total liberation. This yoga is not easy for one who eats too much or too little. It is not for one who sleeps too much or too little. Only a yogi who is moderate in his sleeping, eating, etc. finds it a smooth and happy medium. When the mind is steady in the self without craving for sense objects, then it is called an integrated mind and is compared to the steady flame of a lamp placed in a windless place. The final purpose of sadhana is to eliminate the mind altogether, and it requires several practices at different stages. As long as one is practicing for the same goal, it does not matter if the methods vary. It's very difficult to have even a reasonable control over the mind. So one has to allow it to express itself through the actions of the body. Once the mind is rid of its violent outbursts, it becomes available for greater control. The sadhaka has to understand it for himself by his own mental process. Before the next stage commences, the teacher gives a warning. Now onwards, it's going to be a mental sadhana. A person has to help himself and cannot depend upon others. Whether he succeeds or fails, he has only himself to congratulate or blame. We have three equipments in us, namely the body, the mind and the intellect. Of these, the body always drags us towards creature comforts. The intellect always pulls towards thinking. In between is the mind with its storehouse of love. It has the choice of falling in love with the suggestions of either the body or the intellect. When the mind joins the body, they together become the lower personality, craving for sensual, lowly pleasures. But when it joins the intellect, a higher personality is formed, attracting us to a refined way of living. The mind being fickle, The two personalities exist equally in us. Sometimes one becomes more dominant and sometimes the other. When a man is able to conquer his lower personality completely, he is the sadhaka who is successful in his sadhana. If a man has not conquered his lower tendencies, they disturb him constantly and many a times a slip occurs. Three things for sadhana are stressed: the place, the seat, and the posture. All three are given importance. Mention is made about grass, deer skin, etc. to make the seat. They were the articles easily available in those days. Nowadays, a durri or a carpet is more easy to get. The purpose is to provide a firm but soft seat to prevent the dampness or cold of the ground from affecting the yogi. The other suggestions about food, etc., are helps to ensure success. Every aspect of life has to be moderate. We must avoid extremes. Without these precautions, sadhana becomes a torture.